Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Fraser Hoehle. Some of you may know me for TikTok. We're going to answer some questions today on actually a couple of videos that I did put up. And also, I've been looking to do podcasts, a live podcast for quite a while now. And hopefully this is the start of something good. So I'd love it if you guys would leave a like, subscribe or comment below. That would be great. So this morning, I was asked, question one, what did your tradesman say when you were leaving? Actually, the way this was left, I don't absolutely agree with how it was left, right? Because what happened was, I was going on holiday on the Friday, and I wasn't back to the Monday or Tuesday. Then I ended up working late, as 99% for the company that I worked for at the time, I always worked late. So I was working late, and I had something, and a prior engagement on that night as well, and I couldn't hand the van back. So I texted the lad who was meant to be taking the van. I goes, look, I cannot hand it back. Is there any chance that you could maybe, just pick up at the weekend? Or, if he couldn't have, I would have probably drove it here maybe the Sunday, because he didn't need it to Monday. So whatever, I think he ended up causing a bit of a fuss, about maybe moaning or grating about the fact that I couldn't take it to him. Alright, I mean, it's not that big a deal. It's a van. You can pick it up at any point. You can drop it off at any point when someone's not busy. So ended up coming back to the holiday on the Tuesday, going about my day the whole day, right? Bear in mind, the whole day I went through my day, working away, blah, blah, blah. Comes to, think it was 3:30. And he went to, so I was working with another guy. I'd pick him up in the morning, I'd take the van home and drop him off, etc., etc. So he goes to him, how is Fraser getting home tonight? And he went, I'll not say any names. He went, well, how does he normally get home? He just takes the van home. And he went, no, make him get the bus. The bus! Make him get the bus. I've got a whack load of tools in the van. And you're how disrespectful do you need to be to say that? Instead of having a quiet word go, look, you should have, organised your day better. You should have went about this, hand the van back, etc. Instead of having a quiet word, that's what happened to me. So, basically, that night, I phones my stepfather. I goes, look, can you pick me up at the yard? And he's like, why? I was like, well, I'll be honest. There's a level of rage that you go through. But I'm quite a composed person. I wasn't raging. I wasn't causing any hassle. So, the boy at the time takes me back to the yard. And I goes, look, mate, it was great working with you, but this is my last day. And he was like, what? So, but I was like, I was fizzing. I was physically raging. Like, I could have, smashed the place up, right? But I'm not going to do that because I'm a nice guy. I'm composed. So, I takes the van keys. I goes into the office and I puts them on his desk. I goes, there's the keys. I nearly said his name. I goes, there's the keys. That's me finished. And he's like, what? So, to recap, there was the boss, the gaffer, the main man, and then there was his son. And I've already seen a lot of comments saying, why is it always the gaffer's laddie that is an absolute, So, but I think it's a power trip, maybe. Anyway, so he's like, oh my God. I goes, that's me finished. I'm not coming back. And he went, what an absolute nightmare. He goes, it's my anniversary, we're going out for dinner. And I was just sitting there like, oops. Anyway, so what happens, actually it was so convenient because the laddie came in. He actually, he physically had come in as I had handed the keys in. And he went, what's going on here? And then the boy went, what do you mean? He goes, what's happening? He goes, Fraser says he's quitting, all because you said that, he was to get the bus home, and they started bickering, and I just went, right guys, I'll see you later, it's been a pleasure. And that was the end of that. But I'll be honest, that was quite a torn apprenticeship. It was very tough, it was mentally draining, and at the end of the day, sometimes your path needs to cross. I believe, see, when you work for a company, I think sometimes to better yourself and to move on and get better, you need to leave and move on to another company so that you can physically experience something else and up your skills, because there's always guys out there willing to teach you. I went to another company and the boss was physically amazing. I could not have asked for a better boss, right? Which I'll maybe do a video on this later, but I actually end up leaving there for better money. The grass isn't always greener. That is all I'm gonna say. But he taught me things. He was patient. You know, aye, I couldn't thank him any better. So we'll go on to question number 2, right? So I bought young lad, 16-year-old, messaged me this morning saying, "Hi, I'm 16-year-old. I'm having a terrible time at work. I don't enjoy the guys I'm working with. I feel like I'm not getting taught anything, and I feel like there is no banter. Most importantly, right, you're not at work to have banter. Aye, it is great to have colleagues that you can learn from and have a bit of fun with, but don't mix that up with losing out on working with somebody who is very skilled at their job. Because you can work with somebody and they can have a laugh, but in the second they might not be very good at their job and they might be teaching you bad ways because they're always messing about. I would seriously take a step back and think, look, one, do I need to speak to the owner of the company, the boss, the foreman, the manager, and say, look, I think I'm behind here. If you do want to leave, right, just remember the grass isn't always greener. You might go to somebody else and they might be worse. You might learn less. You might not, you need to put in the effort. You need to tell them, look, guys, I'm not learning enough. I'm not involved enough. I need more hands-on experience. That's what you need to get into them and say, look, yes, let's do it. And also, if you are in an apprenticeship and say you're not enjoying it with the company you're at and you go, right, I'm leaving, and then you go and apply for other companies, the best bit of advice there, I would say, is make sure you've got something nailed down. Because if somebody had left a company, right, and then phones me up and goes, look, I've done a bit of bricking or a bit of plumbing, a bit of heating for a couple of months, 3-4 months, a year, but I'm not with my employer. I'm like, I'll be thinking, why are they not with the employer? Were they not good enough? Were they not eager enough? Were they late? So you really have to nail that down and make sure that you've got something lined up before you leave. Or just be a man as well. That's a problem with younger lads. They're very inexperienced. See if you came up to me and went, look, I'm having a problem at work. I want to learn more. And the tradesman I'm going out with, I'm not teaching me enough. I would physically go, right, young man, you're coming and you're working with me physically. I'll show you the basics, and then that's how I would, that's how I would deal with that kind of situation if somebody came to me. But I would be honest, I think you need to really man up and have a word with somebody instead of, letting it fizz up inside you. You really need to speak about it. So hopefully that sort of helps to anyone who's maybe not enjoying their job or, is looking at different avenues. Also, you need to think about is, although you say maybe, I feel like I'm not learning anything, yeah, it also boils down to, do you think you're putting in enough effort to learn from? Are you asking questions? Are you quick? Are you efficient? Do you turn up to work on time? Are you willing to do what you need to do to get the job done? I would be asking more questions. Do you go home and self-learn? A lot of young guys obviously work, they do the 8-hour day. But see, when you're in a trade, the quicker you can better yourself, the easier your job becomes, the easier your life becomes, the more money you can make. Like if I had a guy in his first year and he was performing like a third year, you'd get a bonus, you'd get extras, I would be so eager for you to earn and for you to better yourself that you would make it. But again, I'm maybe different. I like to spend a lot of time with the lads. I want to make sure that they understand what they're talking about, why it's working. Have you got the mental capacity to undertake the skills? Some guys obviously just turn up to work and they're just like, hands in their pockets, head down on the phone. There is nothing worse than a lad on his phone. Absolutely nothing worse. If you're on your phone, you're not going to make it because you're more interested in other things than working. And I'll go into this for a little bit. Is in retrospect, I think there is a serious issue with young apprentices at the moment. I don't know if it's because they're being forced to look into the trade, or are you feeling like, oh, I'm only on 150 quid a week, why should I put effort in? Or I'm not entirely sure, but it is a serious issue. Lads, like, you're working away, I'm telling you, if you're working away and you turn around to ask for something and the lad's sitting like this, looking at his phone, the rage level just like, you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Pay attention. You're never going to learn. And then that's it. Boom. You'll forever be known as the guy on the phone. So make sure you turn up early. Even if you're going to be late and you're under pressure, I would just go, look, if we need to get to the job early, you go, I'll find my way there and I'll meet you there. I'm sorry I'm late, but it's happened. Communication is probably the most vital point from a young lad to his employer, to his tradesman, to his manager. Because if you're not communicating, your head's down, you're quiet, you're... As well with that, even dealing with clients and customers, you have to be bright, you have to look eager, you have to look keen. Because if a client goes, alright son, how you doing? I'm alright. What kind of attitude is that to have working for somebody? You need to have a positive attitude. Thanks guys for watching. I appreciate if you could like, comment and subscribe. Just leave a wee comment. If there's any questions that you've got and you want me to do a video on it, I'm going to start doing a live podcast every Thursday at 6:45 PM, probably for maybe an hour and a half, so you can get some questions in there. But if you can't make it, there'll be a VOD that you can watch after it if you really want to. Also, give my Instagram a follow as well, please. That would be amazing. Thanks very much, guys. Peace out. I'll see you next video.